Hello YouTube. Today what we're going to be doing is working on a fix for a Yanmar 155 diesel. Okay, the problem is the tachometer. I went to order a tach from a popular supplier in the United States, and they came up with a fix, but they said the tach, basically you spend $78 American and it doesn't work. And they say it's a great hole filler. So what I'm going to do today is just show you a fix that I've come up with. And I went to Amazon and went to Ealing, and they sell a tachometer, and you can see here, I chose the cheaper one. It's a digital, it's 38 bucks Canadian. They wanted $78 for the tachometer. That's a Yanmar tachometer that doesn't work. It just basically fills the hole. So I bought it online. I'll just zoom in on the box here. Okay, it's an Ealing. All right, there we go. An Ealing digital tachometer. It's for a 2-inch hole. All right. And that's, you get the gauge. And then you have to buy a magnetic pickup that comes with the tachometer. And I'll show you the fix I've come up with to put that magnetic pickup into the tractor in order to now have a tach that's very accurate. So I took a look at the tractor and tried to decide where I wanted to put the sensor. So I came over here, right into where the starter is, and I pulled the starter out. And right at the backing plate here on the bell housing, where the starter butts up, I took a measurement. And I measured over, and it was 1.25 inches. And that 1.25 inches gets you to the center of the ring gear. And the ring gear, all the teeth on that ring gear will allow that sensor to pick up magnetic pulses every time when one of the teeth of the flywheel come into play. Okay, just moving around here. And that'll allow a tachometer to work. I took a look in here. Oh, got my little pointer down below where the starter mechanism engages, and it's really busy in here. Got a steering arm, so I decided against putting it in there. All right. So I came over to the right side of the tractor. Move the light around here. That light around. Oh. We'll flood some light in here. Show you where I put it. Pardon my filming. So I came over here, and in between the fuel rail, right here, you can see the fuel rail, and the vent tube, I found the location that was perfect in order to put for the sensor. That sensor requires a 16 by 1.5 pitch tap. Okay. I thought that I would be able to, there's the tap here. Or we'll just get So 16 metric, 16 by 1.5. I thought I would be able to tap it, but what happened is when I started to drill, the flywheel is very close to the bell housing. So if we look here, so I measured over from the backing plate near the bell housing, and I measured over 1.25 inches, okay? And that's where I cut my hole. Now you can't use a drill bit, you have to use a hole saw. Okay, so you can see here. There we go. Got a hole saw here, but it was a bimetal, I kind of burned it out. But it did the job. This one is a 3/4 inch. So that's going to give you an opening wide enough that you can take a 16 by 1.5 nut, and we're going to weld it onto the bell housing there. So I'll just zoom it in here, you can see. So I welded that nut on, and now I'll just get a little light on that gear, and you can see I dialed in the gear right there. I dialed in the gear so that it's right in the center of the hole. There's one of the teeth to the ring gear. And with that now, I'll take my sensor. Okay, I'll take my sensor here and I'll screw it into the hole. Yeah, now you can see. There's my sensor going in. And what we want to do is we want to tighten it and bottom it out so that sensor hits the top of the tooth of the ring gear. So tighten up. You can't, again, I thought I would be able to thread the bell housing, but there's just not enough meat. So now I've tightened it, finger tight here. I can see here now it's bottomed out, and what they suggest is just back it off 1/2 turn. So I'm just going to take a reference point of this here. Oh, let's do it again. And there's 1/2 turn. Then we're just going to tighten down the jam nut, like so. On that, I will take a 22 mil. I'm going to tighten up that jam nut so that it doesn't move. Don't want to hit in that flywheel. Okay. Let's tighten it up. It is a little tight in there to do some work, but it's again, it's less busy. It's not around that steering arm and that, so that's why I decided on this location here. Once you got it into play, I'll tighten up the jam nut. All right. Next thing now, I've wired the, pre-wired, it's very simple. There's only 4 connections for the tachometer there. And on this sensor here, if I can get one more shot around here, there's 2 wires coming off this sensor. Okay? It doesn't matter. One is going to be for ground, and one is going to be for the signal going into the tachometer. All right? So I've got my 2 wires here. I'll plug it in. This one's my ground. I'll just take this terminal. Doesn't matter. And my signal here is black. Let's see. I'll just grab this one here. Okay, my next one is like this. Okay, like so. Okay, and then we'll just come around here now before I start the tractor, and we'll take a picture of the tachometer. Okay. So remember, it's just just picking up the signal as the teeth pass that magnetic pickup. All right? The tractor hasn't been started for a while, so I'm gonna run in here and see if we've got some RPM show. Give her another shot of ether. So there's a nice fix. It's accurate. There's a button on the back that you can adjust the tack. I didn't count the teeth. I just went online and found they say it's 116 tooth. I programmed the digital gauge in for 116. I'll probably end up getting an RPM gauge and then checking the RPM with a gauge and then matching it up, but it's totally adjustable. It was the cheaper gauge to buy. They have analog that are $48, but it's a real good fix, and it's an accurate fix. It's not just a hole filler. So yeah, hopefully this helps you out, and have a good day.